Welcome to this week's edition of TV2 Sports Talk on DMG Channel 2 from Time Warner Cable. I'm Bill Morgan, and coming up on this week's show, if you watch TV2 for any expanded period of time, you know that Scott Robinson and his team do a great job with play-by-play coverage of local high school sports with basketball, football, wrestling, and the list sort of goes on. And TV2 Sports Talk focuses on sports teams and events going on in and around our community. But this week, a fantastic opportunity for TV2 Sports Talk to get involved in a big event going on in the community this week, the annual Run for Zach in New Philadelphia. Remembering the late Zach France, a former New Philadelphia high school student who passed away suffering from complications back in 2006. We'll talk about Zach with his mom, Krista France, and the annual Run for Zach that provides scholarship monies for New Philadelphia school district students. And that is a fantastic opportunity to begin our show. But coming up in the second half of the show this week, we will talk in the local television debut of TV2 Intern Boy as we discuss the Cleveland Indians. For the first time in the history of TV2 Sports Talk, a guest is wearing a suit, a shirt, and a tie. It is unbelievable. We don't know if he went out and rented this prior to TV2 Sports Talk this week. We have no idea if he dusted it off from the back of his closet. We'll discuss that and the try with Intern Boy in the second half of the show this week as TV2 Sports Talk continues on DMG Channel 2 from Time Warner Cable.
At the Tuscarawas County Board of Developmental Disabilities, we are proud to partner alongside individuals with developmental disabilities to pursue a meaningful and integrated community-based life. It is our objective to collaborate with community partners to enhance the quality of life for our friends, neighbors, and co-workers with developmental disabilities. Funding, staff, and other resources from Tusk BDD are distributed from this agency to assist family members, guardians, private provider agencies, schools, and others to partner alongside individuals with developmental disabilities here in Tuscarawas County. I invite you to learn more about Tusk BDD and all the ways in which we are partnering within the community.
I think the hands-on aspect is going to give you an opportunity to explore, find out what you're good at, what you like, and you're not going to have mountains of debt. What you're going to have is a marketable skill that even if you don't love it, you can use that to pay to go on to college and get that degree. And we've got a number of students that do that. They're very mature. I think we're a great hands-on exploration base.
TV2 Sports Talk rolling on DMG Channel 2 from Time Warner Cable. Certainly this time of the year in the Tuscarawas Valley, so much going on as it relates to sports, high school sports season and their practice schedule underway, and a big event going on this week in New Philadelphia. It is the annual Run for Zach, and happy to be joined by Zach's mom, Krista France. And Krista, for those who may not know, tell them about Zach and how you guys got this event started.
Zach was born with cerebral palsy, and on Christmas Day of 2006, he passed away from complications of Stevens-Johnson syndrome. And through the school and his teachers, they set up a Quaker Foundation scholarship in his name, and we've continued to add to that scholarship each year through the Run for Zach, which is a 5K.
And when you talk about the scholarship dollars, certainly you're talking about, Krista, over the span of that time, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that have gone to New Philly students. It's a great thing.
Yes, we're very, very proud of what we've been able to do. This year we were able to give out a $3,500 scholarship to one of the graduating seniors. And of course our goal is to be the highest at some point.
Talking about the Run for Zach with Krista France and the event coming up this weekend. Krista, tell us a little bit about what exactly will be involved.
It's Friday evening, and at 7 o'clock we'll start the 5K. At 6:45 we have a children's fun run for students like 12 and under. We would like to see a lot of our participants there. At 7 o'clock we have our 5K race, which will be a road race. And when our road racers start, behind them we have a 1 mile memorial walk too.
Tell us a little bit about how people can get involved. You guys have been doing pre-registration for quite some time, but if folks want to register on the day of the race, they can do that as well.
Yes, you can register online before the race, or you can register day of at the tables that we'll have set up right outside the VFW.
When we talk about registering, I know one of the things that you and your husband Dave, along with the other folks that organize, like to try and do is get as many students involved from New Philadelphia High School and really all the area high schools. And if they want to participate in the run, in the walk, you guys have got a special student athlete rate.
Right. Our regular rate for racers is $20, but any student in the county could run for $10. So we're happy to have as much involvement as we can from our students.
All a part of what's happening this Friday in New Philadelphia, the annual Run for Zach, to remember Zach France and to raise scholarship dollars for New Philadelphia high school students. Krista, there are a lot of great events like this one. A lot of them are raise money to try and find a cure for whatever the disease or the ailment might have affected somebody. Why did you guys decide on scholarship monies?
We really felt that Zach's time with New Philadelphia City Schools was great. He had a lot of great instructors, a lot of great help from aides and therapists. So we wanted to be able to give back to the school, and we felt that this was a great vehicle to be able to do that.
In an annual event, and you talked about the start times and getting registered and that kind of stuff, Krista, where can people find the event at if they want to simply come out and watch or offer support?
We start at the VFW in New Philadelphia and run on Caterly towards Wabash and kind of circle around South School and Dover and come on back. So any place along that route, you'll be able to see our runners.
Now, I realize that by profession, you're an educator, you're not a meteorologist. As we look ahead to Friday, what's the forecast like?
Well, right now they're calling for 20% chance of rain during the day, perhaps a few scattered thunderstorms in the evening. We're hoping that they hold off before.
By the way,
done.
you sort of sound Dick Goddard-like. You sound very comfortable in that meteorologist role.
I've been watching the weather quite closely this week.
Now, I think, and if we talk, I believe Mike Ernest helps you guys out a little bit. I think if you would talk to Mike, with as hot and as humid as it is at this time of the year, probably a little bit of rain wouldn't bother the runners anyway.
I think they might enjoy that. We just don't want any thunderstorms coming in. So
certainly not. Krista, when we talk about having an event like this one, you want to have participants, but you also have to have sponsors that really help you guys get the ball rolling on this thing. Tell us a little bit about some of those folks.
USA Label has been a big sponsor of ours. They do our t-shirts for us. We're so appreciative of that. Culligan Water of Dover donates our water, so thank you to Keith Elsesser and Culligan Water. The VFW has, this is our 9th year there, and they have always donated our space that we use for after. We have a couple new people this year, All Season Heating and Cooling, Dee's Restaurant, and then Pageantry Innovations that also does some work for the school. So we're happy to have those new people.
When you talk about the VFW donating space for afterwards, what happens after the event comes to a close?
We encourage all of our participants, runners, walkers, kids runs, to come upstairs at the VFW. We have food and fellowship time, and then we pass out our awards and door prizes.
All a part of the Run for Zach coming up this Friday in New Philadelphia, talking with Krista France as a part of that event. Now, I would assume that organizing this thing and putting this bad boy together, you and Dave don't have time to participate in the event. Wrong, right, somewhere in the middle.
We don't. Well, actually, I'm going to take that back. I don't participate in the event. Dave has started to walk, so he does walk, but we encourage everyone to come out. We have a lot of people that help us along the course and help us get organized, so yeah, that's how we kind of handle that.
Krista, if between now and Friday people are sort of looking for more information, where can they find stuff like that?
We have a Facebook page. It's the Run for Zach Facebook page, and if you wanted to register online, you can go to active.com and just search Run for Zach, and the registration will come right up.
Coming up as this week's edition of TV2 Sports Talk rolls on, we'll talk more with Krista about that big event coming up to raise scholarship dollars for New Philadelphia School District students. It's the Run for Zach in New Philadelphia when TV2 Sports Talk rolls on from DMG Channel 2 on Time Warner Cable.
Hi, this is Heather, the Garden Girl, and I am so excited to be able to announce to you guys, the viewers, that I have now opened the Garden Girl shop. Well, where are you going to find me at? It's real easy. I'm located at 1881 7 Mile Drive, tucked in behind the Point Cafe. So come visit me Wednesday through Fridays from 10 to 6, Saturdays from 10 to 4, Sundays from 11 to 3. However, if you see the big garage door up, that means I'm here and you are always more than welcome to stop in. Also, don't forget my priority is educating you guys, so stay tuned for all my make and take workshops where you can come in, learn, get your hands dirty, and head home with your very own projects. Can't wait to see you.
Well, I woke up to the sound of silence and cars. We're cutting like knives in a fist fight. And I found you with a tear in your eye, your head in the curtains and heart like the 4th of July.
You swore and said, we are not shining stars. This I know, I never said we are. If you're lost and alone, or you're sinking like a stone, carry on. May your past be the sound of your feet upon the ground. Carry on. Carry on, carry on. We are shining stars. Carry on, carry on. We are who we are.
TV2 Sports Talk continuing on DMG Channel 2 from Time Warner Cable. I'm WJER Radio Sports Director Bill Morgan. We are in the first week of August, and hard to believe that in a shade more than 3 weeks, the high school football season kicks off, and TV2 will have the Valley's best television coverage of high school football all season long. Scott Robinson and company bringing you game number 1 on the final Friday of the month. That is August 26th. Keep watching TV2 for details. Talking about another great event from a sports perspective happening in Tuscarawas County, the annual Run for Zach, remembering Zach France and benefiting New Philadelphia scholarships for New Philadelphia School District students with Krista France. And Krista, when you talk about Zach and remembering back, you said, you know what, he was a sports guy and he got involved in the Soapbox Derby. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, he was a soapbox derby racer. He participated in a special, I guess we would call it category, called the Super Kids race, and that's how we kind of got involved with that. And then he won our local race one year and was able to participate in the Akron event as well.
And of course, that sort of became, I guess, if you will, Krista, a family affair, because your daughter Megan not only went on to participate, but she had a pretty good run, to say the least.
She did. In 2011, she was the World Champion Rally Masters champion. So
well,
she
you
won.
know what?
She won.
And you know what? You can go over to the Francis house, which I have been. I don't know if Krista knows this. Dave has allowed me in the garage. She may not be in favor of that, but you've got those cars hanging on the garage walls.
Yes, we're quite proud. So they're her Soapbox Derby cars, 2 of them, the Masters car and the Super Stock car, are both hanging in the garage. So she's pretty proud.
As we bounce back to Zach, you said certainly one of his best memories and one of your best memories for him, titled around the Cavaliers. I'm sure that was a pretty interesting story.
It was. I had bought $10 nosebleed seats for Christmas one year when I noticed that he was starting to have an interest in watching basketball. He was pretty glued to the TV when he would watch. So just in general, I called and asked if there was anything more that he could participate in or do while we were up there, and they asked us to be there about 5. So we came, they had gift bags for both of our kids, and then they were able to be on the floor during the warm-ups. The Cavs all came over and took pictures, and then we were able to sit basically on the floor. Zach and I were second row, and Dave and Megan ended up center court, first row.
That's a pretty good deal, especially
Yes.
when it comes to the NBA. And professional sports, talking with Krista France about the annual Run for Zach coming up this Friday in New Philadelphia. And I guess when it comes to the scholarship portion of what you guys do in terms of raising the dollars, is there a certain path that the kids would go down in terms of if they want to apply for that? Is that all run through the Quaker Foundation? How does all that work?
Yes, the scholarship is administered through the Quaker Foundation, and those applications are available through the guidance office. So my understanding of the process is everyone fills out an application who's interested, and then there's a selection process through the board, I think, of the Quaker Foundation.
And when we talk about your daughter, Megan, maybe her experiences with her brother, maybe not, has sort of led her into a career in the healthcare field. She's studying to be a nurse at the University of Akron.
She is. She will be a senior this year, and her goal is to work at Akron Children's Hospital, which is where all of Zach's doctors ended up being. So we're real proud of that.
It is all a part of what's happening with the Run for Zach happening this week in New Philadelphia. Krista, we were talking about during the first part of our conversation, if people want to seek out more information between now and Friday when that event unfolds, again, one more time, how they can reach out to you guys.
You can find us on our Facebook page, Run for Zach, and also if you're just interested in signing up, you can go online at active.com and search Run for Zach.
Tell us a little bit about, in terms of people want to, a lot of times people say, boy, this is a great event, boy, I know Dave and Krista, boy, I know Megan. I'd like to be able to donate a few dollars toward the scholarship fund. How do they touch base with you guys to be able to do something like that if they so chose?
Well, if you just wanted to make a donation, you can make the check directly to the Quaker Foundation and mail it in, and just they'll apply it towards his portion of the scholarship monies that they hold.
Now, shifting the focus away from Run for Zach for just a moment. I was invited to what your husband claimed was a stellar event this past weekend at your house. I was on vacation, I couldn't make it. The premiere edition of Sharknado 4. Did Dave make it through that event? What was your review or Dave's of Sharknado 4?
I believe he liked it. I think it was the event was a success at our house, I would say. I don't know. I didn't stay. I went to my own movie.
I see. So you really didn't want to be a part of Sharknado 4
Correct.
and all that craziness.
Yes, correct. That was a male bonding time, maybe?
Yeah, I think this is why Krista is in charge at their house on the south side of New Philadelphia, and not Dave, despite what he may have you think. Krista, certainly thanks for your time. It is a great event, a great remembrance of your son, and a great opportunity to help kids in the New Philly district.
Thank you. Thank you for promoting us, too.
Coming up as TV2 Sports Talk continues, it is the television debut of Intern Boy, as he breaks down a great season for the 2016 Cleveland Indians so far to date. Intern Boy is next on TV2 Sports Talk.
Just wanting to be a police officer, I knew this was a great start, and it turned out to be a fantastic one.
Just be able to actually see what you're doing, what you're working on, and understand how you can take one thing and turn it into something else.
We got to creatively use skills and academics and see how we can place them into our fields.
It was pretty much I had the key to open the door, and that was from Buckeye.
Taking the area by storm, Lightning Signs and Decals specializes in custom signs, banners, and graphics. We are also an authorized distributor for Mossy Oak, Browning, Realtree, and Bone Collector graphics and products, as well as a hunting and fishing license agent. Visit online at lightningsign.com or visit the storefront located at 224 7th Street in New Philadelphia.
TV2 Sports Talk continuing on DMG Channel 2 from Time Warner Cable. I'm Bill Morgan, and we are thrilled for the local television debut of a young man we affectionately call, behind his back usually here at TV2, Intern Boy. He is Andy Mark. And Andy, tell us a little bit about yourself, why you're interested in sports broadcasting.
Well, actually, ever since I was in 7th grade now, my parents helped actually form the youth football organization down in Tusky Valley. It's called the TVYF, and they helped found it. And when I was in 7th grade, I started getting into sports more. I'm actually a big Steelers fan. I decided that I wanted to start to announce the games because nobody was announcing them, and I did that ever since. And now I'm going to be a senior at Kent State University, the main branch up in Kent, in broadcast journalism, and I've been on a couple of their not their live newscasts, but some of their more, they call them flashcasts actually. I've been a sports anchor, I did a couple of different things, and I cover local high school football for them. It's actually called the PTC up there.
I guess long term, what would you like to do? A guy that'd be on ESPN, anchoring Sports Center, be out doing play-by-play?
Honestly, my dream would be to be a professional play-by-play announcer. I'd love it to be the NFL, but if I could announce, like I do golf, I do lacrosse, I'd do anything. I would do anything if I could be a professional play-by-play announcer. And if I could maybe also have a sports show or something like that, that'd be awesome too. But my dream would be to be an actual professional play-by-play announcer.
Did you watch him? Did you see him working there, ladies and gentlemen? I'd like to have a sports show. Listen, when Bruce Columbus, the czar here at TV2, begins slashing budgets, and you don't see me anymore on this show, you'll know what happened. Intern boy Andy Mark made a play for my job. I'm out of a job. Andy is in the big time on TV2 Sports Talk. I get you on this show, Andy, try to make you a star, and you're trying to kick me to the curb.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Come on, you've been doing this for a while. I'm still in college. Come on.
Now,
give yourself some credit. Come on now. Come on.
But wait a second. Here, let me explain to you the budgetary process of sports broadcasting and how that works, which generally speaking nobody cares about. If you approached Bruce or Gary Petricola and said, listen, I'm about as good as Morgan, I'll do the show for free. You know what happens? You're doing the show. It's how it works here at TV2. Now, Andy, on to more important things. Everybody knows, even really a casual sports fan, the Indians have had a fantastic season. And I think if you go back to April when the year started and you said to yourself, hey, Tribe fans, in the first week in August, the Indians are going to have the best record in the American League. They're going to have the second best record in baseball. Really, Andy, probably most people would have laughed. Why do you think the Tribe has had the kind of success they've had so far?
Well, the main reason, it has to be because of their starting pitching. I believe they still have the best ERA. I don't think in Major League Baseball, definitely the AL, all 5 of their starters are they're very, very good when they are on. I know Danny Salazar kind of had a hiccup last night against the Twins. I don't know if his elbow's going to hurt him. He had a little bit of an injury. But beyond that point, of course, you have Corey Kluber, won the All-Star game, had his Cy Young in 2014. Danny Salazar has probably been the best pitcher, maybe even of all of baseball, definitely of the AL. I believe his ERA is still under 3 now. He has 11 wins on the year. Trevor Bauer's been up and down at times. Carrasco's also been good. The starting pitching staff, overall, when it is on, I don't think there's one better. I just don't think there's one better in Major League Baseball. There just isn't. The way they can strike people out, the way they can clog up innings, and the way they are just so consistent when they get on, and they feed off of each other almost. I mean, it's hard to say. And they've had timely hitting. They finally have a cleanup hitter now. Mike Napoli coming in, won the World Series 2 years ago with the Red Sox. He has 25 home runs. I believe he has 72 RBIs on there. They finally have a cleanup hitter to finally get some guys in. I know that Jonathan Lucroy not coming from the Brewers, vetoing that trade hurts a little bit, but look at what Jose Ramirez has done. Nobody expected that from him this year. And the fact that eventually maybe Michael Brantley might come back. I mean, things are looking up, and Jason Kipnis also had a very good year.
Talking Tribe on TV2 Sports Talk. And Andy, I guess when we talk about the team's success offensively, as you were sort of alluding to, that's really been the biggest surprise, especially, again, as you mentioned, in the absence of Michael Brantley. If you would have said to people, this team's going to be a 3rd in the American League in runs scored and having the kind of success they're having offensively, I don't think people would have thought that was a reality, especially minus Brantley.
Oh, no, definitely not. But at the same time, Francisco Lindor has also lived up to everything they have talked about him coming up last year and more. It's only really his first full season in the big leagues. The kid's been incredible. He goes to the All-Star game. He's just incredible what he does. Out in the field, but also behind the plate. He's just so patient. It's really his first full year in the majors, and the kid's hitting 3rd in the lineup. I believe he's only 22 years old. All that pressure coming on him, and the fact that, like I said earlier, with Mike Napoli coming back to be really the cleanup guy, which is, you thought he was going to be good this year. You didn't think he was going to be this good. He just didn't. And of course, as I said earlier, Jose Ramirez, a surprise year he's had. being able to fill and not having Michael Brantley in the outfield. And one other thing I have to say, Tyler Naquin has been unbelievable coming up on his second stint as he came up from AAA this time. I mean, he's shown power, which he had not shown at AAA. He can obviously run and play the outfield, but then his average as well too. The only ball he really does not hit well is the fastball up in the zone, but we'll leave it down to Tyler Naquin. He can hit out of the ballpark or hit a single on you, and if he gets it down the line, he's probably going to get to second or third. He's been a really big surprise, and probably somebody Terry Francona would point out as a really good surprise at the Indians for this year.
TV2 intern Andy Mark, our guest, as we talk Tribe. And Andy, as we wrap up this week's edition of the show, obviously this past weekend, the Tribe, although they didn't get Jonathan Lucroy, as you mentioned, making a huge trade and bringing one of the most talented relievers in baseball from the Big Apple to Cleveland. I think everybody's excited about the acquisition of Andrew Miller.
Oh yeah, I definitely say so. Just from the fact that he was not even the closer, he has 9 saves on the year. Then again, being behind Aroldis Chapman, he wasn't going to be the closer. He's a really good guy. He doesn't have the speed as Chapman, but when he's on, mid to upper 90s fastball, the size he has, from his arms, especially being as tall as he was, it's just intimidating looking down on the mound. And when he gets his off-speed pitches on, I mean, there's a reason his ERA is below 2. He has a 1.39 ERA, probably not now because he gave up 2 runs last night, but that's different beyond that point because the Indians didn't play well last night. But I really don't know how they're going to use him. I'm hearing a couple of different things. I don't know if he's going to be the closer. Maybe Cody Allen is. Maybe they're going to switch him in and out. But any other way Cody Allen's open to it. He's already said, whatever you want me to do to Terry Francona, I will do. So it's definitely a big boost, and especially the fact that the players are just, finally feeling it. Like, ownership is going for it. We're really going to try to go for it, win the World Series this year. We have the pitching, we have the timely hitting, and now we got a guy in the back end of the bullpen who is just lights out when he is on.
TV2 intern Andy Mark talking Tribe with us. Andy, we appreciate your time, and Keith Jokey, the director of this show, is giving us the old vaudeville hook. We got to quit talking, wrap up the show. Andy, best of luck to you in the future, and don't go talking to Bruce Columbus about trying to steal my job.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Don't forget to watch TV2 for the best in play-by-play all high school football season long, beginning on Friday night, August 26th, here on TV2.